This video, I'm explaining how to outwit the devil. Okay, so let's jump right on into it. So for starters, I want to explain how the devil is you. Okay, you are God and you are the devil. It's a inner state. It's your energy, it's your frequency, it's your mindset, it's your beliefs, your vibration. Okay? It's the version of you that believes in the illusion of the separation, the doubt, the fear, the scarcity. Because I don't want you to think it's the person that feels angry or sad. Because most of the times we feel like the angry part of us, the devil within us, the beast we have to tame, is the angry version. We got to keep that on the leash. And it's like, nah, that's not the devil. That's not your lowest self. Your lowest self is the version that believes in the illusion, the separation, believing that you are separate from God, believing that you're only this human experience, believing that you are the body, you are the mind. That's your lowest self. This entity that wants to keep you believing in the illusion. So when you are raising your frequency and you are tuning into the God within, you unleashing your inner power, shifting your thoughts, shifting your limiting beliefs, aligning your habits with the person you desire to be. That entity, the devil, your old frequency, is going to do everything in his will to keep you the same. Because it don't want to die. And so what helped me is when I learned that the voice wasn't even mine. When I got to the root of where the voice came from, like who made me feel like it wasn't okay to be me, or it wasn't safe to be me, or I have to be, sometimes you become your worst version of yourself just to fit into your environment. Because when people see you doing good or working on yourself, it makes them uncomfortable. And I kind of lost my train of thought. But I just wanted to make the point of, oh yeah, sometimes that inner critic, it ain't even sometimes, it's not your voice. Because you are God. You are a limitless, infinite, cosmic being having a human experience. So if it's not uplifting you and making you feel good about who you are, which is pure awareness, consciousness, and a lot of I was going to say that's where the depression and stress and anxiety and fear and lack comes from, is when you are identifying with the version that's not you. You are identifying with an identity that's not you. Like for me, for example, for a very long time, I always felt like something was wrong with me because I didn't fit in. And I got bullied, by your siblings. And then I just always felt like the black sheep. So my inner critic became the bully's voice, making me feel like, oh, I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough and all of these things. And that started to affect my performance, feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough and I don't know enough. Like the video I made yesterday, and I'm going to post it. I was contemplating, because it's like, I feel like you can tell that I'm in my head. It's like I'm trying so hard to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Because it's like the whole imposter syndrome. And I feel like that's just a fancy word for saying insecure. Because when you're not secure within yourself, you question yourself, you doubt yourself. And that's because we start to believe who people told us we are. But when you start to peel back those layers, get to know who you really are, See yourself as the cosmic infinite being that you are. You'll overshadow that voice. It's like that's how you outwit that devil. Becoming more secure in who you are. Knowing that you're more than this body. You're more than this mind. You are infinite, cosmic being, God in the flesh. And it's like I can't stress it enough, the importance of being secure in who you are. Because that's the only reason why we get offended when people say things about us. Because a part of us believe it. It's not that it's true. It's not that it's true. It's just a part of you believe it because that's how you feel about yourself anyway. Because if you were secure in who you were, if you are secure in who you are, then what people say would just bounce off like water on a duck's skin. It would just bounce off because you know who you are. So them saying things about you is like, okay, I know me, you don't. So what you saying don't matter, it don't bother me. But it takes work to get there, especially when it's your family. It's people you care about, your friends. Because you care about their opinions. You care about how they think and feel about you. But again, it goes back into being secure within who you are. Because their opinion about you can't override how you think and feel about you. And that's what I had to realize. Like, I have to let go of their approval and validation. What's most important is how Tykia think and feel about Tykia. Let me believe in me. Let me be my biggest cheerleader so I don't have to look for it outside of me. Because that's how we get our feelings hurt. Because once you transition into adulthood, it's your job and responsibility to give yourself the things that you needed when you was a child. I feel like my greatest accomplishment is becoming the version that I needed. Becoming the person that my younger self needed. Accepting myself, forgiving myself, approving myself, validating myself. Being my biggest fan. And I'm releasing some one-on-one mentorships because my whole goal is for you to understand that you can conquer that inner war. You can conquer that inner demon, your lowest self. You're not stuck in misery. You're not stuck in your circumstances. Your mistakes and circumstances don't define you. But once you get secure in who you are, it don't matter what's going on because you're going to have the mindset and fortitude to conquer whatever is sent your way. And it starts with loving yourself, shifting your mindset, shifting your beliefs, aligning with your true identity. Because when you identify with this limited human mind and body, I feel like that's where a lot of stress and depression come from. You are an infinite cosmic being. It's identifying with that. It's knowing that you can be anything. You could have anything. You could do anything, as cliche as it sounds. It's about remembering who you are. Unlearning who you was told to be. Unlearning who you was programmed to be. And that's what my sessions are all about. In the meantime, I have ebooks that'll definitely walk you through the same process. I created what I needed, which was help me figure out who I am. Help me peel back the layers. Because you have all the motivational speakers and coaches saying, you know, be disciplined and be consistent and love yourself and set boundaries. And, you know, it's how do we go about doing those things? When really the real work is shifting your identity, your limiting beliefs. Releasing who you were told to be, reprogramming that program, and simply making the decision to shed that layer and tell a new story. And I walk you through how to do it. We create a personalized blueprint for you and your circumstances to get you from where you are to where you want to be, to conquer that inner war. That inner battle between who you were told to be and who you desire to be. Because a lot of us are living for the validation and approval of society or our family or social media and our friends. We living for other people, accomplishing things for other people just so it can look good, you know? That's what the inner battle is. It's like, follow your heart. It's okay. Let people have their opinions about you. It's getting comfortable being misunderstood. And I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. Learning to let go of the need. Like, I don't need them to give me permission to be me. It's okay for me to be me and live life my way. Why do I need somebody outside of me in my life to tell me how to be and how to live, and it's okay? It's like I had to stop giving things outside of me more power than my own voice. I had to strengthen my relationship with myself, therefore strengthening my relationship with God. Because you are God in the flesh. Cosmic, infinite being, the universe. You are the universe. And so some books that'll help you with that. Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joey Dispenza. The Greatest Secret. I forgot who that book is by, but The Greatest Secret. Untethered Soul. That's another book. It's a lot of free audio books on YouTube. Florence, like Your Word is Your Wand. The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. Those books will help you align with your true identity. Plenty of resources. Like I say, I have ebooks, resources on my YouTube to help you align, unleash your true power. Because you have to get secure within yourself. You have to build the mental resilience, the mental capacity to outwit that devil, baby. Which is you, the inner critic. Because we're holding on to so much guilt and shame. And we only do that because we are aligning with the wrong identity. But I get it. Because when you've been that entity the longest, it's a little challenge to shift into your higher self. But I also understand that everybody ain't meant to do that this lifetime. Everybody ain't meant to reach enlightenment this lifetime. Because I genuinely believe that everybody's purpose isn't meant to be the next Rosa Parks and Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. Everybody didn't come here for that. And that's okay. It's about living to your fullest unique expression, doing what makes you happy, whatever that looks like to other people, living for you. Making yourself proud, making yourself happy, being who you needed, regardless of what it looked like to other people. That's what I said. It's about being secure in who you are. So you don't need the external validation. Because I was trying to be who I was told to be. And then I just felt so miserable because I'm like, why am I trying to live for somebody else? Because I'm living for their approval and validation when I need to approve and validate myself and live for me. Follow my heart, my dream, my passion. Get secure in who I am and my purpose, which is being my unique expression of God, regardless of what it looked like to other people. I kind of feel like I'll be jumping all over the place. Because I want to go back to that video I made because I was so in my head. And matter of fact, it's like I'm going to post it just to show my growth. I'm like, because I feel like every day is a new opportunity to be you. You don't have to be who you were 5 minutes ago. All it takes is a perspective shift, a mindset shift, a belief. The minute you decide and show up as that and respond to reality as that and think from that space and act from that space. Because, yeah, I was so in my head in that video, like, oh, people going to think this and people going to think that, and let me not say this. Like, dang, I shouldn't have said that. And it's like, you know what? It is what it is. Who the video is for, that's who it's going to reach. And I had to understand people are going to say and think what they want to say and think regardless. I just got to stop overthinking and be secure in my gift. And stop trying to be what I think society wants, so social media wants, my followers and subscribers want. It's like, man, I was just overthinking so much yesterday in that video. And I'm just like, girl, get out of your head. That old frequency was fighting hard to stay and distract me. Like I was watching one of the videos by Neuro Knowledge, and it was about how your old frequency would try to convince you that it's not working just so you can reinforce the circumstances that you don't desire. And I feel like that's kind of what was going on in that moment in my video. Like literally sabotaging in that moment, like convincing me that I don't know enough and I'm not experienced enough and all of this and all of that. I'm like, girl, you got your psychology degree. And it's like, I don't even like going through that because I feel like that's the ego. That's not who I am. I'm pure awareness. So it's like all the accomplishments that I've had and the coaches I've invested in, the classes, the certifications, it's like I don't even care to go through all of that. But I do feel good about my accomplishments, the person that I'm becoming. But I was just making the point of how your old frequency, which is, I like to call mine a parasite. But for the sake of this video, we're talking about outwitting the devil, which is the parasite, your lowest self. The version that believes in the illusion, the separation, the doubt, the fear, the scarcity, the lack. Because I don't want you to think that your lowest self is the version that gets angry. Because no, you're going to get angry. You're going to be sad. You're going to experience emotions other than happiness. And that's okay. Because you are a soul having a human experience. It's about having the mental capacity, the mental resilience to handle those emotions and not get caught up in those emotions to where you're on a downward spiral and you thinking negative and I'm a victim and it's not working and I'm messing up and I'm late and I'm behind. No. It's about allowing yourself to feel those emotions, but knowing that, oh, I'm just releasing, I'm purging, I'm one step closer. Or, no, I already have it. So it's just old things being released, old things being processed. I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, outwitting that old frequency. Because you will self-sabotage for no reason. Well, it is a reason because, like I said, that old entity don't want to die. You've been that way the longest. It wants to stay comfortable. Your mind wants to keep you comfortable and safe. But you can't stay that version. Especially when you know there's more to life. You feel like something's missing. Because that's how I felt. Because I feel like I had the perfect life on paper. I had all the things. And I still felt like something was missing. And it's like, that's when I went down my rabbit hole. Reading all the books, studying all the videos, buying all the workshops and classes and ebooks and mentors and coaches, you know, doing the whole nine. And that's when I learned that what I'm searching for, the thing that's missing, like how to have a happy life, a purposeful life, a fulfilled life, is by having a relationship with yourself, being secure within yourself, having a relationship with God, living for a purpose that's bigger than you. Through being your unique expression, sharing your gifts with the world. And that gift can simply be sharing compliments, making somebody smile. That's what I want people to understand. That gift don't have to be something that's going to make you famous and change the world and have a grand impact and you're just... And I get it. Some of us want that. Some of us are, some of us have more ambition and drive. Like I said, I feel like it's levels to it. Everybody ain't come to reach certain levels. You came here to master your level. Because I feel like we do a lot of comparison. We think everybody came here to be, like I said, the next Rosa Parks and Malcolm X. And I just don't think that's the case. I do feel like everybody should be their own unique expression. Be themselves. Follow your heart. Follow your passion. Whatever that looks like. I think we too afraid to look crazy or not fit in, or we want to be understood. We too afraid to be misunderstood. I'm like, once I realized that was holding me back, I'm afraid to be misunderstood. I'm afraid to look like I don't know, or to look like I'm trying, and it's just like, no, I don't know everything, and that's okay. I'm applying these same concepts to my life as well. But I know for a fact that I have enough wisdom and experience to help somebody conquer the things that I had to conquer. Which is loving myself, being secure in myself, aligning with my highest self. Aligning my vision. making my dreams a reality. You know, I know what that's like. To take an unconventional path and everybody trying to convince you that you're lost and confused and delusional and you need to do it like this. And I'm just like, no, I can't be crazy. It's more to life. It's more to life. And that more is me. I'm God in the flesh. I can have anything I put my mind to as long as I release the limits, release survival mode, release the scarcity and lack and desperation, shift my frequency, shift my beliefs, shift my perspective, change my internal dialogue, become my biggest cheerleader, not my biggest enemy, that inner critic. Hold myself accountable, change my habits. It's like, it's nothing outside of me. I'm like, wow. That's why I created the ebooks I created and the sessions I created. Because I've been there. I'm going through it too. It's things that I've mastered. I ain't gonna sit, no. No, I ain't even gonna sit here. I haven't mastered, but it's certain things that I have conquered, transmuted, worked through. Because I feel like you're forever a student. You're forever evolving. Because I was getting ready to say, I do feel like there's some things that I have mastered where I can help people and talk them through it. But at the end of the day, it's levels to everything. But I can definitely help you love yourself, find what's missing in your life, to love yourself. Oh, I said that because I feel like loving yourself is how you love your life. Understand you, master yourself is how you master your life. By mastering your mind, peeling back the layers, letting go of who you was told to be, letting go of the societal programming. Unleashing your true inner God power, aligning with that. Because my lower self loved to convince me that I'm not enough and I don't know enough and I'm not experienced enough. And because my brain likes to think that I have to have all the degrees and certifications and I do have a bachelor's degree and I do have a couple certifications and I've paid for the mentors and the coaches, yes. But at the end of the day, baby, I've lived it. I'm living it. I'm applying it. So I'm not just regurgitating information that I've read in a book or seen in a video. Real life experience. Real wisdom from my lessons learned. Going from, like I said, I knew it was more to life. That's what made me start in the first place. I started Live Life in 2020. And when I started my business, I was doing the chakra bracelets. I was making these spiritual packages according to your zodiac sign. So you would get crystals with your zodiac sign, a chakra bracelet, sage, journal prompts, affirmations, and a whole little kit. That's how we started. Because I went to yoga school and I started learning about chakras and the mind and the monkey mind and the ego and mastering yourself. And yeah, yoga blew my mind. That's where it started. And I was like, okay, people need to know this. To get out of misery, you need to balance your chakras. To get out of survival mode, to get out of that scarcity, the lack, the low self-esteem, the greed, the hatred. not speaking up for yourself, the lack of clarity. I'm like, wow, all of these answers are inside of me. If I just balance my chakras, people need to know this. So that's where it started. Then 2021, I started my YouTube because I'm like, okay, people need to know about this. This can really change people's lives. Like, I just wanted to help. I really wanted to be a motivational speaker, just to share knowledge, to share wisdom, to motivate people. Life don't have to be miserable. You're not stuck that way. You're not your circumstances. You're not your failures. You're not your mistakes. There's a way out of survival mode. There's a way out of misery. You know, that was my whole point of my YouTube. Wanting to provide that healing, wanting to provide the yoga, the meditation. But I was still having my inner war. Believing in the illusion. You know, I was very new in the journey, not fully understanding the concept of God and the universe. Because I was raised in a Christian household. So my concept of God, I was still trying to understand that. Like, what do you mean God is within me? And what are we saying here? You know, so trying to understand that. And that's where the studying came in. Okay. When I tell you I got a doctorate degree in YouTube University, the amount of hours I've spent studying, reading, because I wanted it to make sense. So I'm like, okay, boom, we got the evidence, but I'm still trying to teach people and make money from that to change my life, not realizing, babe, your identity and your beliefs, my frequency and identity, and I still felt unworthy and not good enough. Still seeking validation and approval. The hustle, the grind. Trying to be productive to prove the worthiness. Trying to use accomplishments and goals to prove. Like, I have to earn the worthiness through degrees and certifications and accomplishments. While I was still something missing. And so this is when I have the apartment, the car, the relationship. Still distracting myself with materialistic things, trying to fill that void when it's really the relationship with God, the relationship with my highest self, really aligning with that identity, really aligning my thoughts and habits with that identity, my energy and frequency with that identity. Because it got to a point where I was really just living that lifestyle just so I could post about it. Really operating out of ego because I want people to think I'm spiritual. Really wearing spirituality as a costume. That's why I can talk about it, because I used to do it. Well, let me take a picture of me walking barefoot, and let me take a picture of my smoothie, and let me take a picture of my crystals and my yoga mat and yes, I have the spiritual costume. But my life going in a merry-go-round. And it's like, what was that? 21. Okay, then we get to 22. I'm still operating in ego, thinking that I'm better than just because I know, and I have my place in my car, and I have my degree, and I'm operating out of ego. Can't tell me nothing because I have my crystals and my sage, and I don't eat meat, and I'm a vegan, and none of that matter. It don't matter what the outside look like when you still have an internal war. And avoiding that internal war took me on a hell of a journey. I'm still looking outside myself for validation, approval, a rescue, a savior. Yep, okay, so we in 22, living in Houston. Still got my own place, car, puppy, all the things outside, materialistic things. Getting frustrated because I'm like, why is it not working? Why is it not working? Why is it not working? When? How? When? What am I do? How am I, you know, still, hold on. Still operating from that space of desperation, unworthiness, and not enoughness because of what I was choosing to identify with. And it took me like, oh my God, okay. Because it just reflecting on that journey. It's like, girl, this whole time I was just running from myself, manifesting worst case scenarios. Making reckless decisions out of desperation, fear, looking for a savior, looking for a rescue, living with people in crazy circumstances just because I'm avoiding the work, avoiding the accountability, avoiding the discomfort that it takes to really face myself, to rewire the beliefs, to shift my identity, to love myself, accept myself, forgive myself. Doing all this running, looking for the shortcut, looking for the quickest, easiest way. That's what I'm saying. I get it. I've lived it. We all live in it. Like starting over so many times. Avoiding the work, avoiding the accountability, looking for the quickest, shortest way. Trying to rush the process, get quick, make the money, make the money, make the money. That's why you're not making the money. Because you're trying to sell the work without doing the work. You're trying to sell the work without doing the work. You're trying to sell the techniques. And it's like, are you doing the techniques? That's what I'm saying. I'm not judging nobody. But I understand now. I get it now. Really, when you're operating from a space of desperation and lack, or when you try to choose these spiritual tools and techniques to sell, to make the money to change your life, instead of changing your identity and frequency first. And it's like, I knew, baby, we was learning a real lesson. Because when I say I'm going through my Saturn return, it's been lesson after lesson after lesson, trials and tribulations, baby. Starting over. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to allow myself to use my circumstances as an excuse to be my worst self. A lot of the times we do that. Well, I'm going through a hard time right now. I don't feel like I ain't. We blame our circumstances. When that is the time to apply everything you've been studying and learning. All the techniques need to apply when you at your lowest. That's when it's time to meditate and visualize and affirm. Whatever technique that you believe works. Because it's not the technique that's working. It's your belief that makes it work. So whatever you believe works. Whether it's your spells, your crystals, your candles, your vision board, your affirmations, visualization, whatever you believe works. Because the power is within you. It's your energy. your belief, your faith, your your emotional conviction in believing that it works, whatever technique it is. But you just got to know it wholeheartedly. You got to release the doubt and the fear and the scarcity. It's knowing wholeheartedly who you are for real. Really identifying with that infinite, limitless, cosmic being. See, for a very long time, I was identifying with the version that's unworthy and not enough, and I got to seek approval and validation. And when I think about the journey that led me on, that's why I created my ebooks and one-on-one sessions. Because I know from experience. My life started to change when I started changing the inside. When I started changing the internal dialogue, the beliefs. When I shifted the identity and self-concept. When I stopped blaming my circumstances. When I stopped identifying with the version I no longer wanted to be. When I stopped identifying with the version I was told to be. I'm still working on letting go how people feel about me because I hate being perceived. But I'm letting that go because I'm realizing how much stress and anxiety and too much energy just to care. You can't, it's out of your control. So I'm learning that, embracing that. Like I think I never really wanted to get into the details of my story because, again, wanting to come off as perfect and have it figured out and caring so much about how people see me. And it's just like, you know what? The fear of being seen will no longer hold me back. Because for so long, me being seen meant making others uncomfortable. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to make others uncomfortable. So instead, let me shrink. And it's like, no more. No more shrinking. No more shrinking. Like, getting back to outwitting the devil. Like, I think again, I'll tell the full story one day, but I went to Thailand. I was in Thailand for 2 months. August and September. Went to Thailand. And that's how I knew that if you don't outwit that devil, it will lead you on a journey, baby. But at the end of the day, that journey leads you back to you. Because you'll start making reckless decisions, looking for a rescue, looking for validation. So you're entertaining people, situations, and places that you know. But out of desperation, out of fear, out of unworthiness, self-sabotaging, doubting, scarcity, lack. I think one of my biggest mistakes was putting my everything into somebody else to save me. Because that's when I knew the location didn't matter. When I was in Thailand, thinking that if I just create the perfect circumstance, everything will be okay. No. I enjoyed my experience, don't get me wrong, but the internal war was crazy. I do feel like I met deeper versions of myself. Let me say, like, I revealed wounded versions of myself, I should say. Like, I was able to see the doubt, the fear, the limit, the scarcity, and it's just like, wow. Instead of trusting God and trusting my journey, I ran to somebody else to save me and rescue me. God makes no mistakes. Because I was going to say one of the biggest mistakes in my life, but it's no mistakes. Because like I said, the journey revealed me to me. Brought me, closer with God, mastering myself, understanding myself, accepting myself, so that it was all worth it. It gave me the clarity I needed. It gave me the fire and the push I needed. Okay. So I'm going to just say, before we get into this reading, never let anybody or anything convince you that, man, that it ain't you, that you ain't enough, that you unworthy. Because you worthy, because you exist. One card fell way over there. Like I said, we don't go through a video without a card falling. They always fall. Alright. Let me see. Connect with past loved ones. Sense, feel, and reconnect. Let me see what else we get. The next card, reconnect with Mother Earth. The next card, focus on children. So let me see. I feel like you need to, because I was going to say you need to connect with yourself. Connecting with yourself is how you connect with God. It's how you sharpen your abilities to connect with your ancestors. To connect with your ancestors and your spirit guides. Connect with nature. Connect with yourself. Connect with God. The focus on children, I feel like that could be your inner child. And that could also be birthing something, whether that's a project or a baby. A new idea, birthing a new idea. Focusing on your creation. That's what I'm getting from that. Again, on the flow we go. Surrender overthinking. If you're obsessing about a person or situation, turn the dilemma over to spirit. Doing so will help bring you clarity or even solve the problem. Surrender your desire to control people. Being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. And the last one, surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with the uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. Surrender overthinking and your desire to control people. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Going back to outwitting that devil, your lowest self, that's overthinking. Overthinking and worry is worshiping what you don't want to happen. It's manifesting what you don't want to happen. And I always say no amount of fear and anxiety is going to change the outcome of the situation. So that goes into being secure in who you are. Knowing that everything is working out for you regardless of what it looked like. Everything is unfolding for you regardless of what it looked like. So why are we overthinking? Why are we worried? And surrender your desire to control people. Yeah, stop trying to control people, circumstances, outcomes. And I feel like that's where trying to control other people by seeking their validation and approval and living for them. Like, we're trying to control how they perceive us by doing these things and accomplishing these things and having these things. Because we want to control how people perceive us, how people view us. That's the worst prison ever. Break free. Release it! And believe in your magic, baby. Surrender to the magic of who you are. Get secure in who you are. Hold God out here. Act like it. Act like it. Let's see. Well, what is it that we need? Reframe. It says, this is happening for me, not to me. It'd be so funny when the cards resonate with the message, okay? Because I just said that it's unfolding for you, it's happening for you, regardless of what it looked like. So how would I think, feel, and respond to life knowing that it's happening for me? Knowing that every thought, emotion, and action is exactly what I need to get exactly where I desire to be. So don't let that inner devil, the parasite, your old frequency, trick you out your spot. Remember who you are. Okay, so with that being said, I want you to live your life loving yourself first. And I'll see y'all in the next video.